This is the moment that I said goodbye to my freedom.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
For 2 weeks. It's 4 a.m. and everyone is exhausted. We have just arrived in Hong Kong and we're all trudging our way, following one after the other, not exactly sure where we're going, but, just following directions. We're crammed into this bus after a lot of waiting and we're not quite sure where we're going again. But then we end up somewhere in the airport on the other side maybe, and we're waiting again. And at this point I think it's to do a test. And then after the test, we continue walking and this looks like the departure area because it has a lot of the gates. So instead of what we did last time when they sent us to loads of big halls, they decided to use the departure gates, which I thought was super smart. They must have anticipated that we were going to be hungry, so they had some sandwiches and some cheese crackers available. Nothing too fancy. I appreciate the thought. There was more lining up, and eventually, after a lot of waiting, we ended up on these little buses that took groups of us to our hotels, or the hotels that were in the same area. I finally arrived at the hotel after a long 6 hours. And I'm kind of conflicted here because I know that this is pretty much the moment where I'm going to say goodbye to the outside world and live in a room. But I was so exhausted and I was pretty much ready to just drop onto a bed and fall into sleep. Hello friends, so this is the first evening. I checked in at around 11 a.m. and it is now around 10 p.m. It's not bad, the room is a lot better than I expected. The food is okay. This is what I was given for lunch an hour after I checked in, and this is what I was given for dinner on that same day. They were not that tasty, but it fed me and I had snacks in my bag. They give you this menu and you're supposed to pick one out of 2 options. I think it gets a bit repetitive. When I was dropping my trash outside and I saw the opposite person's trash, it was a delivery bag. So I think that people probably get a bit bored and they start ordering takeout, which is quite convenient here because some places don't allow you to get any delivery and some places only allow it in specific hours, whereas in this place that I'm staying at, I think they accept it at any reasonable hour of the day. So that's good. How do I feel? Well, when I first got here, I was really exhausted, absolutely starving and exhausted. I had something to eat and then I called my sisters, or rather they called me, to update me on their life in the past 24 hours. And then I was so knocked out by 2 p.m, 3 p.m. that I couldn't stop myself from falling asleep. So I ended up falling asleep for a good 2 hours, maybe even 3 hours. Then I did virtual grocery shopping, and that has landed me with, let me show you what my fridge is now filled with. It used to be just water. Now I have that Momodica drink, which is one of my favorite drinks to have, this one. And then banana, some soy yogurt, which I have not had in a really long time. Whoops, the door keeps shutting. And then this is the fruit from my dinner just now, and the blueberries, and these are the vegetables from the dinner. And this is the bread from the plane, and the butter from the plane. So it's a small fridge. I'm really making the most of everything. Everything's gonna be jam-packed. And this is my little tea setup. Both of these are the same tea. It's pour tea, which I have in the morning. And that's the cute little kettle. Yeah. So it's not been too bad. Oh, the shower is amazing. I will show you guys that at some point. And that's the end of day 1. Hi, so this is morning of day 2. I am pretty darn exhausted because yesterday I ended up taking a nap in the evening, which is a terrible idea. It's always a terrible idea, but I just couldn't keep my eyes open. I was falling asleep. I'm usually a pretty sensitive sleeper. That's this, which is not actually my favorite mask. I forgot to pack it, which is really sad, and now my sister's gonna take it. I am exhausted because I ended up falling asleep at 2 a.m. and then waking up at 6 a.m. because of time difference. I have not been able to sleep since, and it is 9 a.m. So I decided, you know what? I've tried everything. I've tried a heat patch on my back. I don't know if you can see it. I also have a raging migraine. So that heat pack was the result of me Googling
how to get rid of migraines quickly without having to take painkillers.
because I don't really want to take painkillers. What else? Oh yeah, so I decided I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna try to start my day. I've already decided what workouts I want to do. We'll see. If the migraine goes away, then I'll do them. I'm gonna try a little bit of caffeine. I'm trying to not have caffeine, but they have these packs that say coffee, and I'm not entirely sure what it is. Like, is it instant coffee powder? I hope it's not like one of those ready mixes, because I really don't like those. With my breakfast, I asked them to give me a bit of milk so I can add to this. So we shall see, because I also read on Google that a little bit of caffeine could help with the migraine. Hopefully it's not going to give me like acid reflux or something, because that would be a nightmare.
A migraine and acid reflux and being tired.
My plan is, if I do get tired afterwards, because
Let's face it, 4 hours of sleep is not enough for me.
then I'll take a short nap around noon. I guess my cutoff point would be around 3 p.m, 4 p.m. So I am not going to sleep after 3 or 4 p.m. Otherwise, I will mess up my next day. Another thing I found really hard to get used to is this. So inside all of the bedding and even here, they have these bags, and I understand the necessity of them. But as someone who is quite a sensitive sleeper, this is so uncomfortable because I end up waking up from the sound, and you kind of slip. Like, you lie down and then you like slip because it's super slippery. So that's been pretty rough. It's kind of gloomy today. So rainy. Oh, and this is my view, by the way. So gloomy and rainy. I'm on the 15th floor, which I'm pretty happy about because, ooh, there's a little garden there. Well, kind of. There are plants. I can still hear the roads, but, oh, can you hear that? It's an ambulance. I can hear the roads, but it's not too loud. Okay, so here's this, and I'm going to try a little bit. I just want to see what's inside it. I don't know, can you tell what it is? Okay, actually, let me pour a little bit out. Ooh. Oh, I think it is just plain. Okay, so let's have a teeny bit. Who knows if that's actually going to help with anything. There we go. Yeah, I mean, it looks kind of like coffee. Excuse the angle, I'm like balancing. This is when the fridge is. An interesting thing that I am going to try is keeping my food warm, because there's no microwave, on top of the fridge, because I am not ready to eat exactly at the time that they send the food sometimes. And then yesterday I ended up having to warm my food up with boiling water from the kettle, which was not great. Ooh, I think the milk should be in here for the coffee. Now this is the milk. Did they do that? What? Why is there a burger in there? Oh my gosh, that's the soft bread. Alright, so I'm going to keep everything warm in there. I'm going to take the milk out and add it to my coffee. It looks like it's peeing. This is what I was given for breakfast on the second day. As you can see, I asked them to swap in an egg instead of a piece of ham. For the lunch, I also had to ask them to swap in eggs for something else, which meant I had a lot of eggs. Boy, I have never missed soy sauce this much because the eggs are pretty dry without it. But I'm grateful that food is available, and as a backup plan, if I wanted something else, I could always get delivery. And that's pretty much it for the first day and a half in quarantine.